Our good buddy, Robert Horry, Lakers Spectrum Sports commentator, 7-time NBA champ. He's known as Big Shot Bob, and he joins us courtesy of Bet Online. You can check out Bet Online for updated NBA title, conference division, and awards, etc. Updated win totals and player stats. Robert, good to talk to you again. When's the last time you shot a jumper?
Yesterday.
How's it looking?
Yes. It's still looking good. Don't ask me to go up and down the court, though. Shooting, standing still is simple, but going up and down the court is a different thing.
All right. If I said Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time, the second greatest shooter of all time is?
Probably Clay. I think Clay. Yes, I think Clay is, Steph might be 100 and Clay is like 99.9. I don't think people realize how great of a shooter Klay Thompson is.
Okay. I didn't know they were that close, though. One is, catch and shoot, where Steph can create his shot.
Yeah, for me, it's just being a pure shooter. We're not talking about, going off the dribble. I'm just just standing there and shooting. I think Clay is one of the best shooters ever. You ask me tomorrow, I'll say me.
I'm surprised you didn't say that game on the line. Game on the line.
Game on the line, I'm coming to me, man. Yeah. No question about that.
I think a lot of people would agree. I don't know if you've seen Victor Wembanyama play in person, but I'm curious how Greg Popovich will use him in his rookie year.
I think Greg is going to let him do whatever he wants to do because I'm not even just looking at his play. His ability to see the game and think the game is like a 10-year vet. And that's what has impressed me the most. His size, of course, he can put it on the floor. He can dunk from anywhere. But his ability to think the game and anticipate things is on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I'm wondering, he's already gone through this with the Admiral, and he went through this with Tim Duncan. And I'm wondering if he brings him along slowly. I don't know if the Spurs are a playoff team, but, do you just ease him in? Do you have a minute's restriction on him, or you just let him go full speed ahead?
I think you just throw him in the deep end and let what happens, because that's the best way to learn. You think about all the greats who played this game. They started out rookies playing almost 70 games a season. They learn by fire, and I think that's best for him. I know everybody thinks Pop is the one that started this thing of resting players, but this guy is young. I know he played a lot of minutes overseas, but hey, he can play, make sure he tells the trainer, staff, and Pop how his body's feeling so he doesn't get injured because, as rookies, we think we can play all 82, but sometimes the body says no, no, no.
But also, I'm watching, he's going to lead the league in block shots. He's
no doubt.
He can be a rim protector, and he can also protect the three-point line by taking one step. What's it like to play against somebody who's that tall?
Man, I remember playing against Manute Bol and Mark Eaton. Those guys are just, tall. And what you have to do is just go to the other side of the floor and hope whoever's on that side of the floor can knock down shots. Or you screen them, push them under the basket, do little things to try to negate their length and get them out of the way because, there's one thing we always say, you can't teach size. And his size is above and beyond anybody's I've ever seen that's that athletic.
Who has the most pressure, player-wise, on them this year?
I think, on the low is Jokic, because if you think every year they think he should win the MVP, they're the defending champs. I think he's going to have the most pressure. But I think out of all the players, he's going to one that's going to be like, I don't really care about this pressure. I'm just going to go out and play. I think him in a close second is probably Tatum because, Boston has been right there on the cusp of getting to the finals and winning the finals. That I think he's going to have a lot of pressure on him also.
Do you think that if Dame didn't go to Milwaukee, that Giannis would have signed that extension?
No, no, I don't think so. I think, he, from listening to his conversations, he wants to win. And the thing that I love most about, he doesn't care where he is. He just wants to win. He's not trying to be friends with players in the NBA like a lot of these guys are from playing AAU ball and growing up. He just wants to go out and compete hard and bring home a championship.
Can Lillard be a second option?
You know what? People always say second, first. I don't think it's a first or second option when it comes to that too. I think whoever's hot that night, who has the better opportunity to score offensively, because it's all about matchups. And I think with those guys, whoever has the better matchup will take over that night.
Okay, but Kobe and Shaq, was that dependent on the matchup that they had?
That's a different beast. You talking about Shaq here now. Shaq got the advantage each and every night, man. There's nobody out there who can stop Shaq. So I think with that, it's just Shaq had the advantage every night, and Kobe just played off him very well. If you watch the way Kobe played with Shaq, it was totally different when he played with, Powell and those type of guys. So I think Kobe was so smart that he could figure it out and adjust his game to who was on the court with him.
What's it like to run into Shaq?
I didn't like running into him in practice at all. He's such a big guy.
You didn't take a charge on Shaq ever, did you?
No, man, I'm smart. I got out of the way. It's certain things, you do not do. Let's take a charge from Shaq, take a charge from Mailman. It's certain guys you just get out of the way and just say, "Oh, coach, I missed that assignment."
What'd you think? Shaq had a comment about you being in the Hall of Fame. How about that tweet that he sent out?
Rudy T, Shaq, Kobe, all these guys have said it before. For me, I'm just going to, sit back and let what be will be, because I'm not going to get in this debate because, with all these people on Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be, they want to comment and say, I don't. If I don't, I don't. If I do, I do. It's up to whoever the powers be. So I'm just going to sit back and wait. But thank you, Shaq. I love you. That's my brother.
Why don't you just take a picture of all your rings? And put it and just put it out there on social media.
I've had so many people that want me to do the picture, like Bill and Mike, to do it, but that's just not who I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to flaunt it out there. But every now and then, when someone talks trash, I have it as my screensaver when I do when I do something like this.
But if you did it and you just said, "Look, if I don't make it to the Hall of Fame, I've been rewarded because I have these, and these are more important because of all the great teams I played on." Then you're not bragging. You're just letting people know, hey, yes, I had an unbelievable career. And, if I don't make the Hall of Fame, I've got this. And this is more important.
When I did Special Forces, they asked me that question, how do I feel about not being in the Hall of Fame? I said, I can give you a line like Alabama's Player of the Year, Alabama Academic Player of the Year, all SC, all defense. When you talk about Hall of Fame career, it's not just what you do in the NBA. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. If it was about the NBA, we would have the NBA Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at what I've done from the start, high school until now, there's no question I should be in it. And there's a lot of guys that should be in it. And I'm not just talking about myself, because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's what you've done over your career. And I think people forget that sometimes.
Why don't you have the jersey behind you hanging on the wall?
I haven't. Gary Carter, I love Gary Carter. I love the Mets. I just haven't had a perfect place to put it. I want to put it in my game room. This is my office.
Yeah, but the last time I talked to you, you still had it on the floor, Robert.
I know, because it's not my game room. I hate to say this. My game room, I came home one day and my wife had put all my jerseys, all my championship jerseys up. So it took up the Gary Carter space. What I had in mind to do, she didn't do it. She did what she wanted to do. So I just haven't taken that. I want to,
I like that you have enough jerseys that there's no room for Gary Carter's jersey. That's what you take a picture of. These are my championship jerseys. We're talking to Robert Horry, the Lakers Spectrum sports analyst, and he joins us on behalf of Bet Online. What do you want to tell us about Bet Online?
I think Bet Online is the ultimate place to go to do all your betting. There's so many other people out there, but I think Bet Online gives you the best odds. They give you good payouts. And plus, I've been dealing with Bet Online like years and years and years. So I trust them, and you need to check them out. And plus, they give you great odds. You think about Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, they have 4-1 odds to win the championship. But the one I like best, and I think the one everybody should bet on, is Jokic winning the MVP. That's 9-2. And I think he's going to win the MVP, because I think, I hate to say this because I want my Lakers to win. I think they're the team to beat, and they have the greatest chance to win the championship.
Is James Harden worth trading for if you're the Clippers?
I think if I'm a GM and an owner, I want to have a meeting with James and see where his head is. Say, listen, we're going to try to make this your last stop. We ain't doing all this back and forth with negotiating. And we're going to have a clause in here. If you act up, we get to negate your contract or whatever it may be and go on a different route. But I think James still has a lot left. You think about if you put him on a team, let's say like, OKC. OKC is a young team, but you got a vet, and he can really teach Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I love, to how, to score and be, that guy who can get to the free throw line, get those extra bucks from the free throw line. I think he'd be great. Oh, I'd send him to New York. New York, play alongside Jalen Brunson. There's a lot of places I think he can fit. But if I had my choice, I'd make him stay right where he is, because when you have a big like Embiid and him, a dynamic guard, they can do damage.
He was great during the regular season, Robert, and then all of a sudden he decided he wanted to be the old James Harden. If I get 21 and 11 from him, that is awesome. But that's where I'd want to stay. But, I guess he still wants to go to the Clippers. Help me understand the Lakers supporting cast, and where do you see them as far as the rankings in the West there?
I know a lot of let's just say this: the West is tough, but let's be honest. It depends on AD's health and LeBron's health. LeBron 21 seasons. AD has a history of problems of getting injured, but I think if you got Rui, you got AR, you got so many guys, and when Vando gets healthy, he's that type of person that can guard anybody, like a Ja, like a Murray. He can do that kind of length on him. So I think if you look at this roster and additions they added with Prince, I think they got pretty much the same roster, but tweaked a little bit better. So, and plus, the way Denver has been is talking bad about them all season and using them as a jukebox sort of and playing off them, I think they have a lot of motivation this year to go out and try to win a chip.
How does Chris Paul work out with Golden State?
It makes them small, makes them fast, but with Chris Paul, he's such a great player, talented, smart. He knows the game like the back of his hand. He's gonna make that team better. They're gonna be little. Let's not forget that they're gonna be little. But hey, Chris Paul can give you so much, intensity. And we always talk about Draymond Green, his nastiness. Let's not forget, Chris Paul brings a little nasty to the game too. And I mean that in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way.
Who tried to intimidate you?
Oh my! Charles Barkley tried to intimidate me. Dennis Rodman tried to intimidate me.
But how did they try to intimidate you?
Well, this is one game. I remember we were running down the court and Charles just elbows me right in the middle of the stomach, right in front of Dick Pavetta. And I look at Dick, and Dick just shrugs. And then I come back down and I just hit him in the back of his neck, say, hey, don't do that to me. You from Auburn too? And I hate people from Auburn. So, messed up now. But yeah, but back in the day, guys would do that. They were we always talk about that welcome to the NBA moment. Guys would test you to see where your heart was, see if you was going to come out and, and step up to the plate and be that guy. Says, okay, you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you back, and we're not going to, go that route. So you don't do that anymore today. Guys are, like I said, they're more, finesse type of guys instead of brutes.
Did you ever get punched?
No, never. I've never been punched. Never.
See, I thought Rodman was just a nuisance. I didn't think he was dirty. I thought he was a very, very smart player.
But he would do things like to push you. It wasn't dirty like elbow. It was things to try to get you off your game and see if you were going to react. Because if you boxing, all of a sudden you hear, pushing the back or pushing the side, it irritates you. So, but, Rodman just, he this is what I want to say about Rodman. People don't understand about Rodman. If you always talk about IQ, one of the smartest players ever to play this game. You think about it. He never missed a free throw when he needed to make one. And he always knew where the ball was going when it was shot. He could look at the trajectory of the ball and just run to a spot, and 9 times out of 10 it'll fall in his hand. He was such a smart player.
If you could be coached by one of your coaches your entire career, Phil, Rudy, Pop.
This is gonna go on a selfish side. I'm gonna have to pick Rudy T, because Rudy T ran plays from them. Other two never ran a play for me.
That's fair enough.
I want some plays ran for me. So I'm going Rudy T. And plus, he's the one that said I should be in the Hall of Fame. I got to go with Rudy T.
What's it like to go down the floor knowing that the play is not gonna? They're not calling the play for you.
It's hard at times, especially when you're dealing with guys who deserve the ball. You think about the people I play with, Shaq, Kobe. You can't say, oh, I should get a play before those two guys. That's not true. And then you go with Tim, Manu, and Tony. Should you get a play before those three? No. But, every now and then when you hot, you be like, yo, man, you better give me the ball. I'm hot. But it's just one of the things. You love playing the game. You love to win. You go out and you try to win championships. And that's what we play this game for, to be winners and not go out and try to make a lot of money like a lot of guys like to say. But I went out to try to win games, put myself in an elite group of calling ourselves a champion.
Will you hang up the Gary Carter jersey
next time?
Next
All right,
time?
you're gonna put me on. I'm gonna hang it up.
Yes.
Actually, I'm gonna hang it up in that spot just for you, so when it hangs up, so you can actually see it.
Good to talk to you, Robert. Thank you. Have a great season.
Great talk to you too. See you soon.
Robert Horry, Lakers Spectrum sports analyst. He joins us courtesy of Bet Online. Updated NBA title conference division awards odds all there. Always good to talk to him. He's fun.